Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So today guys, I'm spilling some hot take things that I do as a mom that some people might not agree with, but that work for me and my family, so join along. This is a no judgment zone, okay? What you do for your family works for your family. What I do for mine works for mine. Let me know in the comments if you guys relate to any of this at all, if your family does any of these things, and I would love to read on your opinion. One thing that I allow my kids to be is bored, okay? I'm not entertaining my children all day. Like, obviously we love to like do pool days, we do play dates, and we do some games, and we do different things with them. But like sometimes being bored creates creativity. It makes creativity. So they are grabbing their blocks. Soon as they don't have the option to be like on a game, they're playing with blocks. They're playing with their toys. They're building things. They're building forts. They're running around. They're trying different things. And I feel like that is really important in like a kid's mindset for them to be able to use their brains and not always being entertained. And two, I do not force my children to hug people that want to hug from them. I don't force them. I feel like a lot of this is, some of it's kind of awkward. I'll say, man, if you hug your grandma, like I'll say something like that. Like they like to be silly and run away and like do like the goofy kid thing. But when it comes down to, I don't force my kids to hug other people. I feel like I want them to feel like they have, they get to have consent, you know what I'm saying? So they can consent to a hug and whatnot. And my family, they also enforce that. So they're not forcing my kids to hug them back. But, you know, just within them being able to have the opportunity to decide what they want for their bodies. 3, we do every other day baths. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm sure there's gonna be people on my neck. You should bathe them every single day. Da, 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 da. I ain't gonna hold you. It's like every other day. And they're boys, they stink, so we do have to do it, you know, often. Okay, let's not get crazy, but I definitely do like every other day. They're actually getting old enough where they're doing their own baths, so for the most part, so that's definitely different. I've been doing their bath routine, their lotion, brushing their teeth for so long, and I think it's so different that they're now growing up enough where they do that on their own, which is literally so insane to me. Let's see, 4th, I would say is screen time. Now, what I prefer to do on a good day is I'll give them an hour of game time and then they spend the rest of the day playing. And on weekends, they can play quite a bit longer and vibe out. Now, I ain't gonna hold you. There's been several days where they played the game way more than I had set. Good balance with screen time because it does create more problems in life than I feel like is necessary. And being I've been a stay-at-home mom for 7+ years, it's just, I would like to have my peace. And so I do know that lots of the screen time brings out the tantrums and the complaining and the whining and like the short temper, all that stuff. Gaming triggers that, so I try to limit it. So I try to limit it enough where they're not getting overly exposed to it all the time and that becomes like their only source of entertainment. So it does work pretty well for me right now because they like to they do like to build and draw and color. So I think we're getting a good enough balance for now. But I know as they get older, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult, but cross that bridge when we come to it, okay? Okay, number 5, I do not cook every day. I wish that I was that parent that could like throw meals together every single day. My mom did it, I loved it, but I have a very hard time with that. I tend to make a big batch. I never learned how to cook small coming from a big family, but I do a big batch, I do leftovers. And so that's usually how things run. I do fillers with like snacks and PB&Js, so I kind of like fill in those growth spurts with those kind of meals, fruits, things like that. But yeah, I know so many people that cook every single day and I'm like, I don't do that. And I want to, but I feel like sometimes I get a little burned out because it's so much to think about that my brain kind of meets capacity and then things like kind of spill out. So I pick my battles and I make a big batch and we do leftovers and I'll cook again in like a day or two and make another big batch. So I'm kind of like circulating like leftovers, if that makes sense. Don't come for me. Another thing that I do, I talk to my kids kind of like they're adults to some extent. I never did a lot of the baby talking. For like a little ways I did that, but I talk to my kids since they were little. So I'd be like, hey, we're not gonna do that because you're gonna get hurt. Like I would talk to them like regular people. I never did a lot of the baby talk. I felt like it just, I don't know. I get the cutesy things, not a big deal. But most of the time I talk to them like they're adults. When something's not right and I'm having to either discipline them or talk to them or something, I'll listen. These are your options, you know? And I do the same thing with kids that are in my house. I give them boundaries and I give them options. I told a kid recently, I was talking to my friend about it. I said, it was nothing crazy. Like, they weren't bad kids. They were just jumping on my furniture. I said, listen, we're not going to do that. You know, and then it kept happening. And then I'm just basically like, you can get off my furniture or you can not come back here. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like kids need like boundaries. I just say to my kids, I'm like, you can throw this fit over this game, but you're not going to see that game tomorrow. Because if you can't lose, you can't play this game, okay? Because I feel like we're doing a lot of that, treating them like little children, little babies all the time, and it's not good for their growth. I'm not saying we have to be like super, super hard on them, but I feel like teaching them to regulate their own emotions is like a really big thing. And that's what I'm working on right now with my littles, is helping them manage their emotion, because it gets overwhelming sometimes, like managing other people's emotions so much throughout the day while also trying to manage my own. So I do struggle with that a little bit at home, and I'm working on that now with my kids, because I'm like, please chill, please. It's crazy. And last but not least, number 7. I say number 7 because number 7 is my house is lived in. It's not magazine perfect. It's not set up nicely. I mean, it does look nice when it's clean, like fully put together, no trinkets, no toys. Like, it does have a vibe, but like, I've just given up on the perfect house look. I feel like people that have like, you know, more money, obviously, who have like, people have like big houses, like, you know, all the kind of things. I feel like you definitely can have more space. I feel like it'd be a little bit easier to kind of manage as far as like clutter and whatnot. But my house is very well lived in. One solid day of my kids playing and my house is destroyed. I remember the other day my husband was home, and like I cooked right before he got home. I just got done cleaning and cooking my entire kitchen. And I cleaned it, looked great, ready to go. And I made some pasta for a bunch of extra kids that I had. And by the evening, he was like, man, that place is destroyed. I was like, I know. Because it's like, it really does happen in like one meal. And everything is just like destroyed. And so he was cleaning up the kitchen while I dropped the kids off at school. And he was just like, this is crazy. And I'm like, I know, welcome to a day in my life. But yeah, so that's like an unpopular opinion. I just feel like, I know that I want that look. Like, I try to clean up a little bit. You can see my background. I'm trying to cover up my personal items, you know, because people be in my business, okay? I try to cover up a little bit so it's not too crazy. But you'll see a lot of videos where I've got laundry on my bed. You know, I've got dishes in the sink, because this is real life. Like, I try to give you guys a clean kind of setup to some extent, but it's not always possible. But at the end of the day, I feel like we should all be normalizing doing what works for you or what works for your family. As long as it's a safe space, I wouldn't fret over any kind of constant clutter, constant mess, because at the end of the day, like, your kids are happy, healthy, fed, loved, cared for, and they make a lot of mess, you are winning in life. And that's kind of where I'm trying to look at it. It does, like I said, it does trigger me, and I will be cleaning it, and I'll be doing what I can to clean it and keep it as picked up as much as possible. But I just feel like I went through such a phase of like feeling like everything had to be perfect, and it was quite draining, and realizing that we as moms and as women can't do everything all at once. We have a lot on our plates, and there's a lot of like mental load, you know, between appointments and school, and what snacks and what school supplies and what outfit uniforms and what size are they in right now. And like, you know, there's a lot that comes with raising children. And sometimes we're just at capacity. And if they got a little messy, you got some dishes in the sink, you outside with the kids, it's gonna be like that, okay? Just let you guys know that any moms that are here, dads, you know, you guys are doing a great job. Keep up the good work. We're striving for happy children, but not perfect children. And those of you like that have gotten this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Drop in the comments something that you feel like is unpopular mom opinions, okay, down below. No judgment. And I would love to read your comments and see what you guys have going on in your places, because I know what's going on in mine. Okay, thank you much for watching my video, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget there is a super thanks option that you can also click to tip if you like to do that. I do go live Tuesday through Saturday, usually after 8 p.m. If you catch it in the daytime, you're lucky, because it does not happen very often, but just keep your post notifications on so that you can click on whenever I am live. And I thank you guys so much for watching. Much love. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Hey, young Russell, you made this?